I'm Alex Radical from Board Game Co, and this is News and Week in Review, where we're going to dive into a variety of news pieces. We do actually have a lot of news to go through this week. The videos of the week, the games we covered this past week, as I say this last week, but this past week I think sounds better. Some of the games I've played, all of that and more, links and timestamps to everything down below. With that said, let's go ahead and dive into it, but first, before we do, a note from our channel sponsor, Allplay. Allplay is a sponsor of the channel. You can get a bunch of things over on allplay.com, and recently, as I've been preparing for GAMA, which is a convention more for the industry side of things, but with things like Origins coming up, with things like, I don't know, Dice Tower East or Dice Tower West, actually. Dice Tower West is coming up if you're going there. Check out Allplay if you want to go ahead and get any board game bags, which I find very, very helpful for traveling with board games, moving with board games, even bringing board games to board game night. Allplay bags are my favorite bags from the variety of board game bags that I've tried. And if you want to check out allplay.com, you can get board game bags there, or at most of the conventions that you go to, the Allplay booth will have board game bags if you found that you went to a convention and didn't plan for the amount of games that you're bringing home. With that said, let's go ahead and dive into the news. Starting off with all the news, there is a lot to go through here, so I'm not going to speed run it, but I'm going to speed run it a little bit. We have Final Fantasy from Kesco released. Final Fantasy the board game is coming in 2026. This is, Kesco, who has done a bunch of things, most recently One Piece is their newest IP. They are apparently doing a Final Fantasy board game. This is probably very exciting for a lot of people. I've never played Final Fantasy, so this isn't exciting to me. I'm not against the board game necessarily. I've just never played Final Fantasy. I know nothing about Final Fantasy. I've always been intrigued, never really dove into it. Maybe the board game is the first time I actually do so. Then we have over here another IP from Maestro Media. Maestro Media announcing Avatar: Fight for Pandora. I know nothing about this one, although I have watched the Avatar movies, or the first two. I have not watched the newest one yet. I've heard good things. I was waiting until it's out of theaters because I didn't feel the need to sit through a 3-hour movie in theaters. I don't have that kind of attention span anymore unless I'm really, really invested in the movie. And in the case of Avatar, I enjoy the movies. I'm not that invested in them. But with that said, aside from the movies, at least I know the IP over here. I've been wanting to play the Frontiers of Pandora video game, but I've heard so many mixed things. If you have played Frontiers of Pandora and you are a video game person, let me know if you think I would like it, or at the very least, if you like it, because I'd love to know. Separately from that, Avatar Fight for Pandora. This is a board game coming to you from Maestro Media. Don't know much about it yet as far as where, how, crowdfunding, retail, all of that stuff, how the game plays, but I'm sure we will find out more as the game, as we get closer to release. Then we have Forbidden Legacy. This one does have me pretty excited. Forbidden Legacy to debut at Gen Con 2026 from Gamewright. Matt Leacock and Rob Davio joining forces once again for a new Legacy game, this time set in the Forbidden World. The Forbidden Island, Forbidden Desert, Forbidden Jungle, Forbidden Skies, and now we have Forbidden Legacy. Color me interested. I like Legacy games. I am currently playing through Ticket to Ride Legacy. Actually, Ticket to Ride is going to come up twice more in this video. I'm currently playing through Ticket to Ride Legacy for the second time right now. I really enjoy a good Legacy experience. I don't yet know if this is going to be a good Legacy experience, but I am always interested in all Legacy experiences. Then we have Codenames expansion packs from CGE. Something new they're doing. They have expansion packs. They have expansion packs for Codenames, Codenames Duet, for Pictures. We have Cute Critters. We have Fairy Tales. We have Sci-Fi. More card packs, debuting in Q2 2026. I am intrigued by this. It's just more cards. I don't mind more cards and more words adding to Codenames. Certainly not a bad thing. I can't say I'm super excited for this, but I'm excited enough that I'm sure I will partake. Then we have over here, we have Heroes of Terranoth. Heroes of Descent, Terranoth, this is Descent, is going into video game mode. Descent, which has multiple iterations, Descent 1st Edition, 2nd Edition, and 3rd Edition, and now they have the PC Edition, or I guess video game edition. I don't know if it's PC. I assume it's PC, but I don't know what other platforms it'll be. But Descent from Fantasy Flight is going fully digital, not just an app this time, but you can fully play it digitally, and honestly, once you're playing with the app, you may as well play it fully digitally, in my opinion. I'm not against a good digital implementation. Descent was one of those times where I felt like the app was too present and took me out of the game experience personally. But anyways, Descent. If you're interested in Descent, and if you're interested in playing Descent as a video game, which I am more so than the board game, this should be on your radar. Then we have, speaking of Netflix, I mentioned already, speaking of Ticket to Ride, which I said will come up twice more in this video, first Monopoly, then Catan, and now Netflix has announced a movie based on the Ticket to Ride board game. This is all over the place recently. Basically, they have, Ticket to Ride? Yeah, Ticket to Ride. This probably isn't the best. I'll link something else down below. But basically, Ticket to Ride, that was announced as some sort of Netflix something or other coming your way. So if you are interested in Ticket to Ride and you want to see a video, movie or TV show about it, that is coming your way, although I can't imagine what they're going to do with that. Same thing with Catan. These things are interesting as a concept, but I don't know how the execution is going to, practically speaking, make sense to what do you do? What does a Ticket to Ride movie look like? What does a Catan movie look like? What does a Monopoly movie look like? Then again, I don't know what a Barbie movie looked like, and they did knock that one out of the park, but that one still feels like an easier shot than any of these other things. I'm a huge board game fan. So give me a movie in the world of Gloomhaven, I am here for that. You want to give me a Nemesis movie? I guess technically that's Aliens. You want to give me a, what's the one that they have coming up that I really enjoy? Oh my gosh, what's the Awaken Realms? The big giant box, Lands of Evershade. You want to give me a Lands of Evershade movie? I am here for that. But Monopoly, Catan, and Netflix, I don't know if, I don't know what that's going to... I'm going to watch them, obviously. I'm sure you'll watch them, probably. We'll see. But, I just don't know if I'm excited for them outside of the curiosity of how this is going to play out. Then we have over here Sheriff of Nottingham. Basically, Asmodee is continuing the acquisition of CMON titles, this time with Sheriff of Nottingham. Sheriff of Nottingham is a fantastic game, one of the better games out there that have that bluffing aspect, lots of tension. I love the game to death. I just played it so many times that eventually it became a little samey, but phenomenal experience, highly recommend it. And I was excited to see that Asmodee is picking this up, so it'll continue to see the light of day. Not that CMON is gone. And on that note, over on Board Game Wire, CMON valued at over $7.5 million through successful share sale. Basically, they were able to sell a bunch of shares over there. They'll be putting like 1.2 million of that towards development and all that. So it does seem more money is coming into CMON. And again, selling more titles like Sheriff of Nottingham certainly doesn't hurt. So overall, if you are someone waiting on your various CMON titles, it doesn't seem like you have to give up hope yet. Although obviously in most cases, I would not consider anything a done deal until you have the game on your shelf. Then we have over on Board Game Wire, Watch It Played, Rodney Smith cuts ties with Game Night Picks, accused zone of unethical advertising practices towards publishers. Man, Board Game Wire, I find you a very valuable source of news, but your titles sometimes are a little long. But anyways, over here, this basically goes into this. I went over to this as well, so if you did see Wednesday's video, I think it was, I covered this whole Rodney Smith, Watch It Played, Game Night Picks. Long story short, how do I do long story short? You know what? We'll talk about this more later when I cut. No, talk about it now. We'll talk about it now. Very short version of this because I did a full video. Is Rodney Smith from Watch It Played effectively cut ties with Chaz Marler, who previously he had been working with for 6 years. Recently, Chaz Marler had started up his own channel, and Watch It Played effectively said, hey, if you look at all this, it seems like they are buying views, not disclosing that to publishers, and then selling the publishers ads based on view counts, but then not disclosing the fact that those are low-value views. Low-value views is a very short terminology would be. A typical view is going to actually watch a portion of the video. These low-value views are dropping out. For the most part, the retention rate is significantly lower, so the vast majority of these purchase views, they're not real engagement, and therefore 98% of them, I think maybe it's 96%, a huge amount of them are not engaging with the ads that publishers are being charged for the viewer potentially seeing, even though they are low value views, both low retention and also a lot of international audiences that are not the primary audience. So basically it's false engagement or not real engagement, but being sold as if it's real engagement. That's the very short version of all this. There's a whole lot more to go into. I do recommend if you want a full deep cut of everything going on, including some follow-up emails and things that happened, check out my Wednesday video. I do take time going through these things, but if you want a full overview, that will be present. Even this video of this, even this Board Game Wire article over here has a lot of things, but doesn't have some of the newest things that were released. So at least, unless they updated the article further, which I don't think they did. But yeah. Anyways, that is a very short version. I did a full 30-minute video on this. And then lastly, we have more drama, because drama does not stop in the board game space. It is, listen, between you and me, the drama is good for views. I know this, you know this, we all know this. I could do without the drama. I don't like how the space seems to have a disproportionate amount of drama relative to its size, although maybe that's just me being in the space and knowing what's going on. But the drama doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. One second it's one thing, the next second it's the next thing, and now we have the next thing already. Although probably not as big as the last thing, but still not a small one. Tabletop industry veteran Ryan Dancy loses all-direct COO job after saying AI can generate game ideas as good as some of his company's designs. Again, Board Game Wire, please, you gotta get the smaller titles. I know it's good for SEO, but it's such a mouthful. Long story short, Ryan Dancy, who is COO of Alderac Entertainment Group, basically, the very short version is, I said long story short already, and then I repeated myself, is he posted on, I want to say Twitter, maybe it was Blue Sky, I don't remember. He posted somewhere, effectively saying that effectively his post was, game designers aren't that important, AI can do it. I added the aren't that important, but it's very implied in his statements. This is not the first time he has gotten into hot water over controversy. I can't remember if it was I think it was a few years ago. He had a similar kind of conversation or post about female game designers, and both of these posts over here, both posts, the female game designers post and the AI post, I'm not saying there aren't interesting conversations you can have, and I'm not saying that sometimes in life harsh truths can exist that are uncomfortable, to be very clear. That's not me validating any of his things. Well, I guess that's more context. Now I need more context because I don't want to be, I think I said that poorly. He had a post about female game designers, kind of implying that most female game designers weren't, there wasn't enough talent in female game designers. It was poorly phrased overall. I think there could be some interesting conversations to be had about the frequency and prevalence of how many female game designers there are versus how many male game designers. My own personal take of his last nightmare of a thread was that he kind of took maybe 5% of interesting truths that we could have to have a conversation around these things, and then inserted into their, 95% what felt like hogwash, with the added disclaimer that I am not someone who takes pitches from designers, so I can't comment as someone who's taking pitches, but it certainly felt like a very it felt very sexist. That's from the outside. It felt very sexist. Maybe there were more truths in there than I want to give credit to. Don't know. Then this one with AI, I think there are some interesting hard truths around AI. I think I think it's very possible that we might have good games that are developed by AI that might be better than some games developed by people. That is very possible. AI is always constantly growing, and I never want to undersell what AI is capable of. I think if your only argument against AI is ever about, well, it's not as good as a human, that argument will fall apart as soon as you personally cannot distinguish it from what a human does, which I think will continue to happen. I think there are long, hard, uncomfortable conversations around AI. I also think that, once again, he took a post that could be an interesting conversation and then buried it in a poor phrasing of the situation that felt like he was dumping all over his own game designers of the company that he is COO of. It felt like he was giving zero credit to actual designers and effectively telling everyone, you are all replaceable. And so the CEO of Alderock Entertainment Group effectively said to him, you are also replaceable. I mean, I'm just being, that's me being cute in terms of the way I phrased it, but ultimately he let him go, which to me makes sense. I'm not, again, to echo what I said about Sam Healey, I'm not generally a fan of calling for people's jobs. I am a fan of natural consequences. I am a fan of the fact that sometimes people will lose jobs because of decisions they made. I'm not advocating for that, and I will rarely, if ever, advocate for that. But the idea that I guess the way I'd put it is, it's clear to me that he's representing a liability to his company because he continues to do these things that basically bring a lot of negative attention to AEG. And so at that point, the idea that you might then lose your job, it's not the craziest concept. Anyways, that's kind of a take on it. You can read the Board Game Wire article. More drama in the board game space. And with that, we can go ahead and move on to the videos of the week. The videos of the week. There were not many in the videos of the week category. I mean, there are lots of videos, but there were a lot of game-focused videos. Videos in general, we had a Gamefound end-of-year update once or twice a year. I try to do once a year, but sometimes if something happens, I'll do a second one. I do a dedicated Gamefound video. So I did a dedicated Gamefound video this past Sunday, I want to say, just to covering how Gamefound did in 2025, going into a lot of details, information. If you are someone that's interested in that kind of thing, that video is there. If you're someone that's not, there are 3,000 other videos to watch. It's more than 3,000. There's lots of other videos to watch on the channel. Then on Wednesday, I covered the Watcher Played and Game Night picks. Controversy, lots to go into there. Again, I did a little bit of a deep dive already, so I won't cover it heavily here. You can watch Wednesday's video, or I already talked about it a little bit ago. That's basically the videos of the week, and that brings us to the games we covered this past week. Lots of games covered. There was a Labyrinth review. I really enjoyed Labyrinth. I already started playing with my kids again, so it's a prototype, and I'm already in my second playthrough of the game. It is fun. I enjoy it. It is very much light, and I don't feel that challenged by it. But it is a fun, simple, very easygoing experience. I enjoy it. That's what I can say. Is it worth $75? I don't know. I've gotten enough fun out of it that maybe it was, but I don't think I'd... Like, if it was a legacy game, here's what I can tell you for sure. If it was a legacy game with destructible components, I wouldn't have rebought it to start it again. I know that. But it's hard. That's a prototype I got for free, and I don't think I would have purchased it, but I certainly have enjoyed it. Does that make sense? Either way, I gave it a 3.5 out of 5, with the caveat that I'm probably enjoying it. I'm getting a lot of enjoyment out of it, but I don't think it's a great game. It's a good game. It's a better game than Labyrinth is. Then we had a gameplay for Gateway. I will actually have a review for that going up today, so if you're interested in that, check out later today, but I won't give you my thoughts on that. Gateway was sponsored content, but I did a review that was not sponsored content. Obviously, whenever those cross streams are present, take that bias into account. Then there was a preview for Glimmerdeep done by Meg. I did not review this. I do enjoy Glimmerdeep. I did play that one. I had a lot of fun with it. I'm not yet sure if it's a game that I will or won't add to my collection, because again, 200, I'm trying to maintain 200 games, which means every game game, even if I enjoy it, is a hard decision, but I think Glimmerdeep likely would make the cut. I can think of a few games I would replace and put Glimmerdeep in that spot, at least for now. Then there was a Nexus solo mode video done by Meg. I didn't play Nexus solo, I played Nexus multiplayer, so I can't comment on the solo, but if you're interested in that, the pledge manager is open, and Meg did a solo video on the channel. There was a Core of Discovery Duo review. I really enjoyed Core of Discovery Duo, but I'd rather play Core of Discovery every time, so for me that's a good game, but not one I feel the need to add to my collection. Core of Discovery is a better game experience for me, and plays well at 2, just more cooperatively than competitively. Then we have, Core of Discovery Duo is also cooperative. Different vibes as far as how they play. Then there was Forage. There was a review for Forage. I liked Forage I liked aspects of Forage. I really liked the last few turns. I felt the game spent too much time getting to those last few turns, and that took a little bit of the fun out of it for me. Again, it's a good game. I just think there are better roll-and-write games out there for me. There's a preview for Kadmon went up on the channel. Kadmon is an upcoming game. There'll also be an upcoming gameplay coming as well. But Kadmon, upcoming crowdfunding campaign. Check that out. And then lastly, there was a gameplay for Rurik. Rurik Dawn of Kiev, or Rurik 2nd Edition, I guess technically it's called. I love Rurik. Huge fan of it. I reviewed it last week if you want to see my thoughts on it. I think they did a great job with this new version. And yeah, if you want to see a gameplay of it, that went up on Friday. That is basically the games we covered this past week, which brings us to today. No, not today. The games I've played. Games I've played this past week. As usual, this is a smattering of some of the game experiences I've played. I've played Ticket to Ride Legacy for 3 more plays. I started Ticket to Ride Legacy finally again with the new group. And I'm 3 plays deep, and I expect to finish it in the next 3 to 4 days, going through all 12 games of it. I really enjoyed Ticket to Ride Legacy the first time round, and I'm enjoying it a lot the second time round. Kind of like Labyrinth, it is a lighter experience, but I think because it's competitive, I feel the tension more. Labyrinth was, because it's cooperative, the tension wasn't as present, even if it is fun overall. But Ticket to Ride Legacy is a absolute banger of a game. Highly recommend it. It's not cheap, but if you split the cost with 3 or 4 people, it's pretty decent as far as the entertainment value you're going to get per person per dollar. Then there's Force Shuffle. I've been playing more Force Shuffle regular. It's been a while since I played regular Force Shuffle. I've mostly been playing Force Shuffle Dartmoor, so going back to regular Force Shuffle is a nice breath of fresh air. Still enjoy it. I think both Force Shuffles are amazing. Always a great time. Love playing it. I did try the scoring app. There's a scoring app you can take photos. I think it's helpful to a degree, but I kind of like scoring it myself to get a sense of where I got my points from, if that makes sense. I find that is very helpful to be like, oh, that bat strategy really worked out well for me this game. That lizard strategy, not so much. I like that kind of feedback as I score things myself. I think I've started to realize in general, digital scoring apps, while they can be incredibly helpful, they separate me from the scoring that is happening in the game. And then there's Age of Civilization. Phenomenal game. I love Age of Civilization. I have dove back into it with a Vegeon, starting to play a bunch of it again. I really hope this... I would love to see a deluxe survived version of that, a bigger box. I know Portal did an Age of Galaxy version. I'd love to see a better version of Age of Civilization, or just more content for the game. I think it's such a good experience, a hidden gem of an experience. Ooh, I should put Age of Civilization on my hidden gem list. I'm going to do that now. So when I eventually get to my hidden gem video, expect to see that there probably. And then lastly, I started Cozy Stickerville. Loving Cozy Stickerville. Don't know exactly when I will have my coverage for the game. I want to play through the whole thing first, but I'm 1 game into it, and it's so cozy and charming. I am already prepped for the fact that I will almost certainly be buying Cozy Stickerville again so that I can dive into it. Like Ticket to Ride Legacy. I played it 2 years ago. Diving into it again now, loving it. Cozy Stickerville, I might buy another copy just to ensure that I have it and it doesn't go out of print, so that 2 years from now I can dive back into it. But overall, initial thoughts, very charming, very cozy. I'm not playing it solo. I do wonder if I prefer it solo, but I think I prefer it probably multiplayer. We shall see. I'll see if I ever dive into solo, but if you are interested in Cozy Stickerville, 1 game in, I am a huge fan. That is basically some of the games I've played this past week, which brings us to today. Today we will have a review for Gateway going up, as well as a preview for Foes of Middle-earth, and then later next week we'll have a gameplay for Foes of Middle-earth happening. That's an active crowdfunding campaign at the moment. As far as next week, we're going to have a bunch of things. We will have Soar and Fracture Sky expansions launching on Tuesday, but the videos for that will be going up Monday if you want to see content around those. I'll also have a 2026 New Year's resolutions. Granted, we are basically at the end of February. I filmed this video a little bit ago, but it's finally going up mid-February to tell you my New Year's resolutions for 2026, of which I am making halfway progress on them so far. That's basically everything, which brings us to the games on the shelf. As usual, this is a smattering of some of the games I hope to be playing this week. We have 6 Sojourns, which I would love to table this week. I have not tabled yet. I read the rules. I've been trying to table it. It hasn't happened yet. We have Wondrous Creatures, which has been too long since my last play, and I hope to be diving into it again. And then we have Ticket to Ride, Legends of the West, which I'm already 3 games deep, and I expect to be playing 4 or 5 games today alone. In any case, and until next time, I am Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co. I hope you enjoyed this video. Have an excellent week, and as always, I hope you have a good one.